going on, you guys? Sitting low here, just coming at you guys with another video. And in this one, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. In this one, we're going to be working on the daily driver. Now, I just picked up a set of aftermarket wheels for my truck, and they look pretty good, and I can't wait to put them on. But there is one thing I'd like to address before I put them on there, and that is painting the brake calipers. Now, I did paint these brake calipers, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I got the truck, but I daily drive this thing, and it's seen the winter, it's seen the rain, it's seen all the elements. So it's time to give them a refresh, and I'm not going to put these brand new fancy wheels on with these ugly brake calipers behind it. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys the cheap and easy and dirty way about painting your brake calipers and making your brake calipers look nice. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so before we even get started, I figured I'd take a moment to show you guys the wheels and tires that I just picked up. Now, I know they're not the flashiest or the fanciest wheels out there, but for the price of all 4 of these wheels and tires, I pretty much paid for one of the tires. And I did want a set of aftermarket wheels for this truck, but I didn't want something super flashy. I didn't want to get wheels that were too big for the truck because I do park this truck in my garage and with that camper shell, and I literally only have like 2 inches of room before my caps hit in the garage. So pretty much grabbed these for cheap. And that's why these are going on. Like I said, I can't just put these on. I mean, I suppose I could, but I'd much rather take like 15-20 minutes to get these brake calipers and everything looking nice. So figured I'd fire up the camera and show you guys how I do it. Now there's 100 ways to do it. You can do it all fancy. You can remove the calipers and paint them like on a bench or something, but I'm just going for the quick and easy route. This is not a show car. This is just my daily driver. This is just my grandpa truck. So I'm gonna do it the quick, the easy, the dirty way. And I promise it won't be hacked. So anyway, figured I'd show you guys how I do it. So step 1, go ahead and get the truck in the air, bust the lug nuts loose, and go ahead and pull the wheels off, and we can get started. Come in here with some soapy dish soap and water, hot water and dish soap. Try to give this a nice good scrub-a-dub. And just go ahead and rinse it off with some brake cleaner. Go ahead and loosen this caliper up. All right, so with our caliper bolts loose, we can go ahead and remove our caliper pins. And basically all I'm trying to do is just remove this brake caliper. All right, and with the caliper removed, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove these pads real quick. And just like we did with the driver's side, I'm going to go ahead and pull this caliper off and yank these pads out real quick. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and pull these pads out and set them aside so we don't contaminate them with paint while we're painting. Alright, so at this point I got the brake caliper removed and I pulled the pads out. Next I'm just going to take a plastic grocery bag, something that fits over the rotor. Well, I just want to mask everything off and protect it the best you can. That way we don't risk getting any paint on our rotor surface. We definitely don't want that. And then I'm just going to set the caliper back in place for now and throw these pins in temporarily. Got the pins in just to hold the caliper in place. Now we got everything pretty much masked off. I'm going to go ahead and find another bit of some plastic or something, maybe a trash bag or something, and mask all this stuff off the best I can, and then we can get moving on this caliper. Alright guys, so I got the rotor masked and pretty much everything in this surrounding area lightly masked off. Next thing I like to do is hit everything up with some brake clean. Next I like to go ahead and just scrub everything down, get all the old residual grease and loose stuff off. You don't have to go super overboard with it, but there's definitely some caked on nasty stuff left. So the more prep work you do and the better prep work you do, the better the result. Next thing I'm going to do before I get started is I'm going to take some of this blue painter's tape and I'm going to put it on these stainless steel anti-rattle clips. I suppose I should have did this with the caliper off. And I'm just going to mask off this anti-rattle clip because this little stainless steel clip that everyone pretty much discards is what actually your brake pads slide back and forth on. Alright guys, we're pretty much ready to go with this one. All I got to do is just start painting it. Alright, so for the paint I decided to go with this red Duplicolor. It's the exact same paint that I've used to paint the calipers on that truck. and it works out very well. Now I know it says engine paint on it, but whatever. I've used it in the past with really good results. I know they make brake caliper specific paint. They also make exhaust paint. It's all pretty much, paint is paint. As long as it says high temperature, you know, that's pretty much all you really need to worry about. And I decided to go with red for an extra 50 horsepower. I was thinking about going with yellow for an extra 150 horsepower, but I don't know if the truck is ready for 150 horsepower yellow calipers, so I just stuck with the 50 shot of red. So that's kind of how it works. 50 shot is red. If you got yellow calipers, that's an extra 150 horsepower. And if you're a complete psycho, you go with the monster green. If you paint your brake calipers monster green, then that's like an extra 600 horse, you guys. But you guys need to really be careful when you do that, because you can literally snap your vehicle in half. So just keep that in mind when you're selecting your color for your brake caliper paints. Now our can all shook up, got everything masked off. Start hitting it. Don't go too crazy, just go nice and light. You might not get 100% full coverage the very first time. Just hit it lightly. Wait a couple minutes for that paint to tack up, and then we can go ahead and hit it with another layer. I'm probably gonna put 2 or 3 layers, maybe even 4. So just take your time with this and they'll turn out just fine. Like I said, this is just the quick, easy, and dirty way of doing it. This is not the professional way, but like I said, if you do enough prep work and you do a good enough job, you know, you can achieve professional looking results just by doing this. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna let this one tack up for a little bit, and then I'll come back and hit it with another coat, and then we'll move on. All right, so getting started on the passenger side, just like we did on the driver's side, we're just gonna start with nice, light coats. I don't anticipate getting 100% coverage the very first go around. And you definitely don't want to overdo it. All right, so that's coat number 1 on the passenger side. I'm gonna hop back over to the driver's side and get another coat going on that side. Back over here to the driver's side, I'm gonna try to focus on areas that I kind of missed initially, so try to get in all the little nooks and the crannies. All right, so that's coat number 2 on the driver's side. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and hop back over to the passenger side, put another coat on that, and just keep going back and forth. All right, so back over to the passenger side. This is coat number 2. All right, you guys, so at this point, we've only got 2 coats on each of the front calipers, and they're already looking pretty sweet. So I'm probably gonna do 1 or 2 more on each side, and then just let them dry and call it good. So let's keep it moving. All right, guys, here we go on the driver's side once again. There we go. So yeah, 3 coats and we're looking good. All right, you guys, I think that's gonna do it for the driver's side. I'm gonna hop over to the passenger side, do 1 more coat on that one, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we'll keep moving on. All right, so back on over to the passenger side. This is gonna be the 3rd and final coat on this caliper as well. This 3 coats is looking pretty good, so just make sure you give it a good look. Make sure to hit up any areas that you may have overlooked or missed. And now is definitely not the time to get carried away. You still want to do nice light coats. You don't want to start caking it on there now. And just like that, you guys, we've now got 50 extra horsepower. All right, guys, so at this point in the game, we got both sides painted. I got 3 coats on both sides, and they turned out really nice. As you can see, like I said, I know they're not done yet, but when I unmask these things and put them all back together, it's gonna look like professionally painted. So you can achieve professional results as long as you just take your time, make sure the calipers and your surfaces and everything you're trying to paint is nice and clean. And the better you mask everything off, the better as well. So, but anyway, you guys, I think that's gonna look sweet behind our new wheels. Like I said, I know these ain't the fanciest wheels in the world, but they are a lot better than these ones. So I can't wait till these dry and I can put everything back together. But anyway, you guys, I think what I'm gonna work on now, I'm gonna start working on pulling these back wheels off. In hindsight, I kind of wish I would have got the truck up on 4 jack stands before I even pulled pulled the front wheels off, but I didn't really think it over. Like I said, this whole video was even impulsive. So, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna try to work on getting the back up in the air and pulling the back wheels off. That way I can do the same thing I did to the front calipers to the rears. So I got 4-wheel disc on this bad boy here, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on that. All right, so with the rear wheels off, you can see what we're going up against now. Now, I think in this case, I'm gonna take a wire brush and try to knock off some of this loose, scaly development that's starting to grow on here. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, so I knocked a lot of that loose, scaly stuff off, and I also hit the calipers up with a quick wire brushing, which really seemed to brighten them up a bit, and that'll probably help the paint stick a little better to these. But I went a little extra with these because these are at the back of the truck. These ones are getting a lot of deflection and road grime spit at them from the front tires and stuff like that. Thus all the extra rust back here. So like I said, just take your time with the prep and they'll all turn out all right. So keep it moving. I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through this. I'm not gonna bore you guys with it. I think you guys are pretty much rolling up what I'm smoking here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward through this, and you guys will see these in the front when they're done. All right, you guys, so at this point we got all 4 brake calipers painted and they turned out really good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna wait. The longer the paint dries, the better the paint cures. So I'm in no rush with this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let these things hang out overnight and dry. And then we can go ahead and put everything back together and put the wheels back on. They should be styling. All right, so here it is the next day. Like I said, I just wanna let these things dry and cure the best they can, so I won't have to worry about scratching them or doing anything like that. Already unmasked the rear, and as you can see, I got a little bit of paint on the rotor on this side, but it'll wipe right off. But the rest of it turned out really nice. Hop over to this side. This side turned out really nice. But yeah, just gonna keep moving on. Now that I know the paint is nice and dry, I can go ahead and unmask this stuff, put the pads back in it, and we put our new wheels on. Oh, and also before I did that, I replaced these rubber boots here. Mine were disintegrated, and you definitely want those on your brakes because it, keeps moisture and water out. A little bit of preventative maintenance in that regard. So like I said, I just got to go ahead and peel these bags off, peel the tape off, throw the pads back in. Then we can go ahead and just throw the new wheels back on. Be sure to always grease your caliper pins, you guys. Like I said, you definitely don't want these things rusting up in there and seizing. It just cause you all sorts of headache. Alright, so I'm just using some Windex on a rag. And if I got any dirty handprints on them, just wiping them off. Alright, so this little spot here on the rotor that I got, it'll come right off. Alright, you guys, so I got everything all reassembled and cleaned up. The only thing left to do now is put the new wheels on. Let's do it. All right, so we only got one left to do, and then we're done. Then we can set it on the ground and see what it looks like. All right, so now for the moment we've all been waiting for, or at least the moment I've been waiting for. I get to let this thing down and see what it looks like on the new wheels. All right, so with the truck back on the ground, we can finally step back and get a good look at it. I think these wheels look great on here. Not only do our wheels look good, but our brake calipers look amazing as well, and just make our new wheels look that much better. Like I said, I wanted some custom aftermarket wheels, but I didn't want something too flashy, and I think these wheels fit the bill just fine. And I see no point in installing nice new wheels over rusty old brake calipers, so I'd say that was well worth our time. But anyway, you guys, I think that's going to do it for this one. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. I know my channel's pretty random, but if I'm about to do something that I figure some of you guys might be interested in learning how to do, I'll fire up the camera and film a quick video for you guys. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. And until the next one, you guys, this is Sitting Low signing out. I'll see you in the next one.